Mr. Robert, thank you for being here. I think it's not your first time.
It's not my first time.
And how do you see the crowd so far?
This is the most impressive conference I've ever been to. It's the closest I can think of is the RSA show in San Francisco, and this is on a whole nother scale.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Well, as an experienced entrepreneur and investor, what do you see the key qualities and the Saudi entrepreneurs should have to qualify to become global entrepreneurs?
I think the first thing is you have to create something of value that the world needs. And what's beautiful about this region is there's no bias about the rest of the world. You know, in America, whether you want to admit it or not, you're affected by somebody else's ideas. There's so much around you and so much legacy. And in technology, legacy is not always good. I really believe that the next great invention, the next great technology will come from this region.
Interesting. So talking about this and the Kingdom's Vision 2030 to promote diversification and different innovation, what do you think, which sectors you believe hold the greatest potential for entrepreneurial growth in the foreign region?
Well, I think we just met the young man. He's not that young, but he has a healthcare business.
Yeah.
So I think healthcare resorts, longevity is one of the greatest growth areas. I think the second one will always be technology and cybersecurity. I think the third one is communications and infrastructure. I mean, look at what is happening in the kingdom and the pace of growth. What people here are learning in such a short amount of time would take somebody in America or Europe 10, 20 years to learn.
Yeah.
So I think there's so much opportunity. There's still a lot to learn about going global and scaling and selling, but
The grounds are there.
The grounds are there. And I mean, I was here first time 3 years ago, and compared to 3 years ago, the pace of change is phenomenal.
Yeah. So, given your global perspective, as you were saying, what unique strengths and challenges do you see the Saudi entrepreneurs need to have in order to leverage that scale?
I think whenever you come from a small region, not that Saudi is small, but it's small on a global scale as an entrepreneurship. So I think whenever you're small, you always have to think global. And in that way, it's like Australia or Canada or other countries that don't have a large enough home market. And that's good and bad, right? Because it makes you think outside the box, as we say. The bad is sometimes the maturity of go-to-market isn't as strong as it is in a highly competitive market like America.
Yeah.
One of the great things about America is it's so competitive that if you're doing something wrong, you learn very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
The time to failure in a highly competitive market is very condensed.
Okay. So, how do you view the importance of events like BIBAN in creating opportunities for collaboration between international investors and local entrepreneurs? And what advice would you give to those participating and those Saudi startups looking to make the most of this?
Yeah, you know, I think there's a great saying that I love, which is a mind once expanded can never go back to its original size. And I think when you see an event like this, it's awe-inspiring. There's no entrepreneur that's not going to walk through these doors and say, why not me? Why can't? Like, you think about this event didn't even exist a few years ago. And so when you see something like this being built, it encourages you to build your own thing. So I think it's just important to do that. I think the second one is you have to highlight the region. One of the great things about Saudi that I'm starting to see is you're not afraid anymore to celebrate your success. You know, I've done business in Canada, I've done business in Australia, and people tend to be shy about celebrating their success. Americans are not shy. And Saudis are becoming vocal about success. I think that's important.
That's a pretty good point, yeah. Indeed. So, last question for you, and I think that what's your next steps, and how do you see your involvement in the Saudi ecosystem as Robert?
Yeah, I think that there's a great partnership here between entrepreneurs, government, business, and I think we're just trying to explore the region and see how we can leverage the infrastructure here. I mean, the people here are used to working at a pace that is becoming culturally part of the DNA, and that's very, very hard to replicate. You can't teach passion and you can't teach speed, and this region has both.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah,
It
thank
was a
you.
pleasure talking to you.